Hi, good morning all. So yesterday we have completed the operators. So today we are going with this new topic, that is SQL classes. So how many classes are there in the SQL? We have the select class and from class, where class, and group by, having, next order, order by class, and last is distinct. Okay, these are the classes in the SQL. So it will come under the DQL or DRL, data query language. Actually, select is it will come under the data query language. So in the select class, what it will do? It is used to retrieve the data from the table. Okay. So, so how will you use the select class, or what is the order? How it is? You can say that. Okay. This is the select column list from table name. So selected. Either you can use the star or you can use the column list. So that is how many columns you want. These many column names only you can mention here from table name, where condition, group by condition, and having condition, order by class here. So in this order we have to query the data from the table. Okay. Select the column list from table name, and after that, so this is under the square brackets from where to order by class. That means these are not mandatory. Okay. So based on our requirement, we can use this where condition, group by class, and having and order by classes we are using them. But main is select a column list from table name. Up to this is the general requirement. So how we generally will use this class only. Okay. So how we will use that? So select class, how we will use? So we are going to use this select a column names from table name. Okay. Or else you can use the select a distinct column names from the table name. So select a distinct column names from the table name and select a this. Select a column from table name where condition. So like this you can give the, you can use this select statement. So not only this, some other examples also there I will use. Okay. So select column from table name where column like pattern you can use. Select column 1 comma sum of the column from table or table number group by column, and select column comma sum of the columns from table group by, and this is the column name having the sum of column conditions. So these many ways you can use this. Okay. So in the select statement, how we are going to use? Select a column names from the table name. Select a distinct column names from the table name. Select a column from table name where class condition, and select column from the table name where column name like pattern, and select column name sum of the column or you can use the not only some, you can use the average, minimum, maximum, like that. From table group by column and select column or comma sum of the column from table name, group by column name having sum of the column conditions. This is the basic select statement how you are going to use. Okay. So next we have the from class. So from class syntax means this is the whenever you are using the select statement, there will be compulsory from class will be there. Without that, you cannot do any data fetch. It is used to retrieve the data from the table. Okay. Select star from EMP. So how we are using that? Select a star from EMP. So in this, we are using the from class here. Okay. So normally, whenever you are checking, writing any query like this, select star from EMP means, so it will check for this table name first whether it is exist or not, and after that, so it will the select star means all the columns from this table name. If it is mentioned any specific columns instead of the star, that will be considered only that columns. Select the star from the equity. That means all the columns from this table. Okay. Suppose only if you take select employee number, comma, e-name, comma, job, comma, salary from EMP. Then it will only for the specific columns. Okay. Same way, we have the, we can use this different tables from this, and you can use the select CO header ID, comma, segment 1 from CO headers all. So that means you are getting only these two columns information from these tables. Okay. So this is for the from class. So how will you use this from class means you have to, before the table name it is using here. And here we have the one more, that is for the table names, we can use the alias names also. Okay. Not only for the table name or only, and even for the column names also, we are using the alias names. Okay. So it is used to provide the temporary headings for the columns or expressions in select statement. So alias names why will use? It is used to provide the temporary headings for columns or expressions in select statement. They are valid in that select statement only. They are only for display purpose. Okay. So how will you use this alias name? Suppose you are having this employee number. Okay. So name, comma, job, comma, salary. It is there from EMP. Okay. So what I will do, I'll write line by line here. That will be easy. Okay. Now we have this table. Select start from select employee number, e-name, job, salary from EMP. This is the columns in this table. So when you execute this is the output here. Okay. So what I want to do, so here, so here instead of the column name, I want to specify some other name. Okay. Employee underscore number I will mention. To understand easily, so I will mention employee number. And here, employee underscore name I will mention. Okay. So like this. And job I will mention designation. And salary I'll mention full name salary. Okay. So what will happen? So instead of these column names, it will populate this alias name. Okay, for the employee number, so it will populate employee number. For E name, it will populate employee name. For job, it will populate designation. Salary, SAL, it will be populate salary. That is, these are the temporary names. So for why we are using this means to understand better or for reading purpose. Okay, so only within this select statement only it will be works means so only for this session. So and when you are executing, this is only for this query. Okay, so see this here, instead of the previously when you execute, these names are displayed. Select employee name, e name, job, salary. These names are displayed. That means actual column names is displayed. Now once we are adding this name extra alias name, so alias names are displaying as the column names here. Okay. Suppose if I am using any arithmetic operations in the select clause, select 2 plus 6 from dual. So what it is displaying here? The column name is displaying as 2 plus 6. Okay. But I don't want to mention that like that. So I want to mention some name for that. Okay. Then I can use the addition of numbers. Okay. So it is some meaningful name it is coming here. Without this, what is happening? So if you take out this, directly it is coming as a 2 plus 6 as a column name. But when you use this, select 2 plus 6 addition of number, then from dual. So it is making some meaningful column name here. But this is only works for this session only. Okay. Same way you can give for the, if you want, you can use this alias names, otherwise not required. Suppose if I am not using this job designation, so what will happen? So for this employee number, employee name, and job, directly it is taking the same column name here. Same way, salary, if you want, you can use the salary, otherwise you can remove, then it will, SAL it will come. Okay, suppose I mention the salary here. So same way, I need one more column, that is annual salary. So annual salary means, how will you calculate the annual salary? Salary into 12 months, that will be the annual salary. So this column is available in the table. Is this column available in the table? Salary into 12? So not available.
No.
So when you execute, what it will happen? So it will display, here is the column name salary into 12. Okay. But when you execute like this, it is displaying here as the salary into 12 as the column name. But so to show the meaningful name, I can mention annual salary. Okay. So here annual salary it is coming displaying. So this is the salary and this is the annual salary like this. So to provide the meaningful information, so we are using the some alias names for the column names. So same way for the table names also we'll use that I will explain later. At present only I'm using for these columns here. Okay. So whenever you are using the alias names, you should be careful that how to use this alias names also. Alias name should not be the keywords, without keywords. Okay. So and it should not contain any spaces. Suppose here annual salary. If I give like this, it will throw the error here. Okay. It should contain underscore, otherwise it should not accept it. Okay. It is at least it has a single word, then it is okay. Otherwise it should be underscore between the words here. Okay. And suppose if I want to use the any suppose if I use the number here instead of the employee number, I will use the number. Then what it will happen? It will throw the error. So that means reserved words. Oracle reserved keywords will be there, that you should not use the alias names directly here. Okay. So when I'm using the employee number, it is working. But simply when I use the number, so it is throwing the error because number is the data type we are using. Whenever we are creating the table, that time we are using the data type, so that these keywords it should not be used. So here what we have to use apart from the keywords. So suppose if you want to use the compulsory keyword, then you can put it in the double quotes here like this. Then it will work. Okay. So if you are normal words without the quotes, you can mention like this employee underscore name. But when you are using the reserved keywords, you must specify within this double quotes. Then only it will be considered as a alias name. Otherwise, without this double quote, when you mention, it will throw the error. Okay. So another way mentioning this alias name also, previously when you are used to mention as ename, as employee name, job as designation. Okay. So salary as salary like that. Previously we used to mention, but now as is not mandatory for the alias name mentioning here. Okay. If you mention also, it will work. So if you not mention also, it will work. Okay. But when you are using the alias names for the columns, you can use the some format. Suppose if you are using for one column as then we mention for all the alias and before the alias names you can mention as. Follow the same to maintain the inform. Okay. Select employee number as number, ename as employee name, job as designation, salary as salary, and salary into 12 as annual salary. Otherwise, you can remove everything here. But when you are using the reserved keywords, you must specify in the double quotes. That must be completely, you have to compulsory use that one. Okay. The next is we have the where clause. So it is used to provide the condition. It is used to filter the data from grouped records. Okay. So it won't allow group functions and alias names in the where clause condition. So eliminates non-matching records. What it will do, where clause eliminates the non-matching records. Where clause has the highest priority and group functions are not allowed. That is, group functions means minimum, maximum, count, maximum, count, and average, and sum. These are called as the group functions. So these group functions, it will not allow in the where clause condition. Okay. So why we will use the where clause? So to filter the data from the existing query. So default syntax is where filtering condition. Okay. So within this, we have to provide the some condition. Suppose I want to display the only employee number, department number 10, employees only from the employee table. Select star from EMP where DEPT number is equals to 10. So when you use the select star from employee table, so what it is coming? All the 14 records it is taken. But when you use the where department number is equals to 10, it is filtering the data here. Okay, it is filtering the data and displaying the only department number 10 only. So this is the where clause we are filtering the data here. Okay, suppose I want to display the names of all the employees who are working on the employee number 7788. Okay, how will you display that? Select star from EMP where employee number is equals to 7788. Only particular employee details it is fetching here. Okay, suppose I want to display all the employees working under department number 30, then simply you can replace here 30. Select star from EMP where department number is equals to 30. Like this. Suppose I want to only employee names starting with the S. Then select star from EMP where ename like. So ename like we have to mention that starting I need S so that S percentage. Okay. So whenever like operator comes, we have to use the single quotes here. Okay. Within the single quotes, some word after that percentage, or you can use the some underscore also. If it is if you want to search for the single character, you have to use the underscore like this. Okay. S underscore. So then it is only Smith and Scott it is coming. So based on this, how many characters are there? Based on that, here it is coming Scott and Smith. Suppose only if I mention percentage soft race, if there is a 2 characters, okay, 3 characters also it will fetch. A number of characters also it will fetch. But it should be what we should be starting with the S here. Okay. Suppose if I mention A here, A percentage, then Alan and Adam it is coming. Suppose a M percentage means Martin and Miller it is coming. Okay. Suppose if I want to employee name ending with the A or S, then what will happen? Then I have to select star from EMP where ename like percentage A have to mention. There is no employee name ending with A. So I mention S. It is coming Jones, Adams, and James. Okay. So like this, we can use the where clause to filter the data. Okay. Why we are using the where clause? To filter the data, existing data. Okay. From these tables. Okay. Suppose if I want to display the name of the employees who joined the company before 30th June 81 and after 31st December 81. So this is the requirement. Display the list of employees who joined the company before 30th of June 81 or after 31st December 81. So how will you write this? Okay, then we have to select star from EMP where. So here what is the requirement? Display the list of employees who is joined the company. Joining means where it will information where it will be in this table in the hire date column. Okay, so hire date, joining date will be there. So I have to take that hire date between dates. What is the dates were given? 30 June 1981 and 31st December 1981. Okay, this is the requirement. So if I give like this, it will work. It will throw the error. So how to mention within this single quotes. When our date format is there and our varchar format is there, character format is there, we have to mention in the single quotes. Okay. So then only it will work here. Within these dates, these many employees are joined here.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Instead of JUN January,
Okay.
you put a numerical number. It cannot automatically to a letter.
Like this you are asking.
Yeah.
Okay. So what will happen is in generally system will consider as a DD MON format. Okay. So if you give like this, we have to specify. Okay. So if you give like this, we have to specify whether it is a which is date and which is month and which is year. Okay. So generally, the system will consider in the DD, MON and YYY format. So in this format means we have to give 30 hyphen June or Jan, whatever it may be, and year. Okay. Or it will consider DD, MON, YY format only. Like this only. But when you are giving this format 30/06/1981, you have to specify that format to date format, we have to convert it. Okay. So this should be converted first into the date format. Then only it will accept. That will come in the next classes. Okay. So how we are going to convert this date format. So how many formats are there? That will come under the next classes. Okay. Generally, we have to mention two date of, two care of or two number like this, two date. So we have to mention this is the DD, MM, YYY. So now December here. Okay. Then it is going to convert into this date format here. Okay. So without conversion, so here it is taking 31st December. When you give in this format, automatically it is considering as the date format here. But if you give this 30/06/1981 or suppose only I am giving 81, then what will happen here? So see this, it is extra information it is came, but actually this is the wrong. So we are giving 2 digits only, so that we have to mention here 2 digits only. DD, MM, YY format only I am mentioning, so that it will change. Okay. So if I give like this, what is happened? So this is not considered here. DD, MM, YY. So system generally it will take the YY format only. Okay, YY. That is, then only it will giving the proper value here. Okay, now how many records? This 5 records only. So exactly you have to use this to convert the date format. ToDate function you have to use it. Okay, so how to use this ToDate or ToNumber to carry? So that is separate topics are there. I'll explain more on that time. Okay. So but at present, so we are using this instead of all these things. I'm just using the in the course. I'll use the June or January, whatever it may be. Like this, I'm going to use. Okay. So here, what is the main thing here? So where class we are using. Okay. So where class, what is the purpose? To filter the data from the existing table data. Not only existing table. So if you are using the join conditions based on the 2-3 table joins, so you will get a lot of information. So there also to scrutinize the our required data. So we are going to use the where class condition. Suppose I want to display the salaries between the 2000 and 5000. Then what we are doing? Select star from EMP where salary between 2000 and 5000. Shall I give like this? So between 2000 and 5000 means it will give like this. Another way, you can give salary greater than 2000 and salary less than 5000. Okay. So between 2000 and 5000, how many records it is there now? 6 it is there. Suppose same thing if I am using the salary greater than 2000 and salary less than 5000. How many records are there? Here only 5 records it is fetched. Why? Because when you use the between operator, so it will consider both the lower bound and upper bound also. That values also it will be included in the output. But when you use the less than and greater than, so if it is any 2000 is there, that will not be considered here. Same way, 5000 is there, that also not considering here. When it will consider? When you use the less than or equals to. Okay? Greater than or equals to. That time only these two values will be considered. Otherwise, so these values will be excluded. Between that values only it will consider here. So see this. When I use the equal operator greater than or equals to and less than or equals to, then this 5000 also it is coming here. Suppose if I am not using the equal operator, then condition it is changing to less than 5000. That means up to 4999 only it will consider. 5000 it is not considering. Whereas when you use the between operator, it will include the both the values. Okay. Next we have the group by class. Okay. So what is the purpose of this group by class? So it is used to grouping the similar data based on the columns. It is used to group the rows based on the one or more columns or expressions to calculate the aggregate functions like minimum, maximum, sum. Okay. So this minimum, maximum, sum, average, and count. Okay. These are called as the aggregate functions. Okay. Or group functions. Okay. Yeah, tell me, Srilekha. Hello. You want to ask something? Yeah. So here group functions means minimum, maximum, sum, average, count. These are called as the group function or aggregate functions.